All right, John Nolte, we're going to bring Nolte on and we're going to stay on Facebook and YouTube so you can watch the interview, but that doesn't alleviate you of your responsibility to subscribing to thedailywire.com for a lousy $8 a month, and then you can watch the entire show on the site. You can also ask questions in the mailbag, and if you subscribe for the year, we will send you the completely blank book of Michael Knowles' Reasons to Vote for Democrats. Of course it's blank. What could he say? What could he say? So have we got Nolte? Can I see him? There he is, the Noltenator, John Nolte, the best observer of the media in the business. He really is. You are the most accurate observer of the media. Your CNN. What's your latest CNN? Your latest Twitter handle?
At Nolte NC, NOLTENC.
And your title, you have a title like CNN is Hitler used to be your title?
Oh yeah, CNN lies and is Hitler.
And is Hitler, okay. Now, is Hitler. I want you to know, and I'm going to get back to this. Yesterday, after we decided we were going to ask you to come on the show, I was driving home and listening to Rush. Did you know he was reading your piece on the air?
I very rarely listen to talk. I got so many other things going on. I have a TV. So I very rarely listen to talk radio, but I was driving yesterday. So I was listening to Rush. I always listen to Rush when I drive. And I couldn't believe, I was actually pumping gas and my wife jumped out of the car. And she's like, Rush is talking about you. Rush is talking about you. So that was very exciting. Very exciting.
Very cool. I'm going to ask you about what he was talking about, too. But first, let's just talk about this week, because I'm watching the news this week, and it's almost like a cloud of nonsense at this point. This whole Russian story with Trump, I think Trump should start wearing a trench coat and a slouch hat so that he looks like a James Bond villain, maybe metal teeth or something like this. They don't have any. Am I wrong? Are they just making this stuff up at this point?
Yeah, we're going on, I think, 7 months now.
Yeah. And
what's interesting is that what you're seeing in the media now is that the Russian story is obviously falling apart. Maybe James Comey's going to pull a rabbit out of his hat. I doubt it, because there's so many leaks. I think we'd know by now. But the Russian story is falling apart, but the story that's coming together is the story about Obama's surveilling of Trump. And I think it was illegal. It was certainly unethical. And that story is coming together. So you have the media pretending the Russian story is oh, this is hot, this is hot. And at the same time, they're trying to wish the surveillance story away into the cornfield, or what they're trying to do is they're trying to conflate the two stories to discredit the surveillance story, and that's not working very well. And I don't think it's going to work. I think that once the Russian story is done, and the Senate's having hearings now, and probably within about 10 days, this is all going to be over. Then you're going to have, maybe the Republicans will take advantage of the fact that they won some elections, and they'll then do some hearings on this surveillance. And that tape that just came out, which is I think from early in March, of that Obama surrogate bragging about having the surveillance and getting it to partisans on Capitol Hill, who in turn were leaking it to the media, which is illegal. It's a violation of the Espionage Act. That is huge. And you watch the woman who's talking out of turn, and you're right. You look at her eyes; you can kind of tell she knew it. But look at Mika. When the clip cuts to Mika Brzezinski, she's going too. Okay, yeah. Let's hope Gravian doesn't pick this up. Yeah, okay. Because they know. She let the cat out of the bag and everything. And listen, the media has known this for months.
They had to have known, because they were the ones being called. Yeah.
They reported on it. They reported on the Obama administration spying on Trump. When Mike Flynn resigned, they bragged about how Obama's surveillance of Trump, the Trump team, brought down Mike Flynn. And then when Trump claimed that he had been, quote unquote, wiretapped, which if you look at the MIT definition, includes exactly what happened to him, they got hyper-literal, wiretapped. If we don't have video of Obama
sneaking into your apartment,
hanging in Trump Tower like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, he's innocent. But it's but Trump got it. He totally changed the dynamic of the story, and it's boomeranging, and hopefully some people are going to go to jail, because politicizing intelligence That's about as bad as it gets.
It really is bad. I mean, the thing about it is like, I don't like Obama. I'm willing to, sling mud at the guy sometimes, but this really is bad. I mean, this is an election, and it's one thing to say the Russians are trying to mess with our election. They're always trying to mess with our elections. They're bad people. But Obama was surveilling the opposition party. I mean, that is insane. That is really bad stuff. So the thing that Rush was talking about was he was talking about your idea. I mean, I was doing some research a couple of days ago, and the networks are bleeding. The network news are bleeding viewers. I mean, viewers are punishing these guys. They are lying. They're just distorting. I mean, lying is almost the wrong word. They're just showing everything through this warped lens, and people are abandoning ship. But your point was that you really can't punish these guys by boycotting them anymore because they've already lost all their viewers. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, look at CNN, for example, which I think is the most irresponsible network news outlet in America right now. CNN had their record quarter last quarter. They still came in 12th place behind Investigative Discovery, but they had their record quarter. And their record quarter for CNN averaged on the day about 830,000 viewers.
Wow.
Which in a country of 330 million is zero.
It's zero. It's a statistically
zero.
That's how many people watch Girls. I mean, it's nobody.
Yeah. It's these are horrible ratings. Nobody watches CNN.
Right.
Now they can't stay alive on when you only have that many viewers, total viewers. This isn't even the demo. These are total viewers. You can't stay alive if you only have 800,000 viewers on advertising revenue alone, because you don't have enough viewers to make enough money to create a machine like CNN. So what they've done, and ESPN's done this, and MSNBC's done this, and even Fox News, is they've rigged the system through cable. About 4 years ago, 100 million people had cable television in their home. It's now down to 88 million. It's still a high number. But anyone who has CNN on their package, let's say you want Turner Classic Movies and you want Fox News, but in order to get those two channels, you have to also take a package that includes CNN. Mm-hmm. Whether or not you watch CNN or ESPN or any of these other networks, if it's on your cable package, your part of your bill is going to CNN. It's about $1.50 to $2 per month that you're subsidizing CNN. It's $7 per month you're subsidizing ESPN. And that's how, the last report I saw, 50% of CNN's revenue comes from these sneaky subscriber fees that have nothing to do with viewership or popularity or merit. It's just that you're forced to have that channel on your cable package. And the only way to hurt them, if you want to hurt CNN, you have to cancel your cable package. You have to watch TV in a different way, which is what I'm doing.
So nowadays, if you cancel your cable package, that doesn't mean you don't have TV. You just do it through the internet. Is that basically what you do?
Yeah. My cable package, I think, was about $105. Okay. And it wasn't, and I think that's about average. And I watched about 4 channels.
Okay.
And now I have Netflix and I have Amazon, and that's about $20 a month, and I watch all kinds of stuff on YouTube. There's a ton of TV shows on YouTube. That's free. There's a ton of free movies and television shows through your Roku, which is like it's about that big.
No,
It's a beautiful thing. If you don't mind commercials, there's all kinds of free movies and television shows, but it's still fewer commercials than on your cable.
Right.
And you can get, if you want to watch cable news, CBS has a free 24/7 cable news channel if you just want to see what's going on in the world. I don't miss cable at all.
Wow, no, did you tell them why you were doing it? Did you write to them and say, I can't stand the left wing ESPN?
No. I mean, this is something I've actually been writing about for 7 or 8 years, and I don't want to beat up the poor guy in India who's on the phone or I'm canceling my charter cable, But I've been this is an alarm I've been sounding. This is the one-legged stool that holds the media up. It also holds Hollywood up.
Yeah.
Because it's all these mega corporations that own, Time Warner owns Warner Brothers and CNN.
People do not understand this, yeah.
Yeah, and Warner Brothers, their movies aren't making a lot of money, so they make money because they own all these channels and they get all these subscription fees. Even Disney, which is the most powerful movie studio in the country right now, about 50% of their revenue comes from these subscription fees. If you want to hurt Hollywood and the media, you can't not watch. You have to cancel your cable package. Yeah. That's the one-legged stool holding it up.
And people do not understand this. People are always saying to me, Hollywood is all about the money. And that's a half truth. I mean, first of all, they are about the politics. They do make movies that bomb for political reasons and for political messaging. And they're all about, getting invited to the right parties and winning the awards that you get when you make those movies. But also, they make money no matter what. They don't care. It's not like the old days where a movie had to be a hit for them to make money, and they lost money if it wasn't a hit. It's not like that anymore. They are making it all over the place, and they make that money no matter what happens. So it's a good point. Let me ask you about one thing before I let you go, though. This is a kind of a point of contention. Now, you were an early Trump supporter. When we hear, most of us here at the Daily Wire, I mean, I decided to vote for Trump. I did it. It was tough for me to do, but obviously the choice was so clear that, and I still think I feel we dodged a bullet, like a 50 caliber bullet in Hillary Clinton. There's no question about that in my mind. But you said to me, I brought you on the show and I asked you, doesn't it bother you that he's not really a conservative? And you said he's conservative enough for me, given what we've got, given the field of play. So today there's all this stuff. The Freedom Caucus is being hit for not voting for this health care bill, which obviously was a mess. I mean, the health care bill was a mess. And my argument was not that they should vote for the health care bill as a matter of principle or not principle. It was that this was Trump's first big legislative play. Give him a win because he's not a conservative, to keep him basically on the conservative path. Give the president his first big win so that he doesn't go off and start consorting with Democrats, which is what he's threatening to do. Now, I think it's just a threat because I don't think the Democrats are going to give him anything. But still, how did you feel about that? Now everybody's saying, oh, Trump is bullying the Freedom Caucus and he shouldn't do it. But I feel that's kind of a negotiating ploy. What did you think the right play was there?
I have to say that I hated the health care bill.
Me too. Yeah.
And I'm not saying this to flatter you, but it wasn't until I read your piece that I kind of understood the argument for it, because I read your piece about why this was probably a very bad thing to vote against it. And maybe it's a very good example of Republicans killing the good in pursuit of the perfect.
Right.
And so it kind of, and I'm not really a policy person, so I probably should have shut my mouth about the healthcare bill on Twitter because I don't really follow policy. It bores me. But just on its face, it just looked bad. But then I read your piece and I thought, well, you know what? Maybe they should have gone for this. Maybe the good is worth it, and we shouldn't be pursuing the perfect at the expense of it. But I agree with you on him going after the Freedom Caucus. What I'm seeing in him is the same thing Bill Clinton did: triangulation.
Right.
It's a negotiating ploy, and my guess is that what they're trying to do under the radar is because they have to repeal Obamacare. They have to. They promised us it for 7 years. Yeah. And I think now we got a taste of what failure looks like, and we're all a little bummed, even those of us that were against the bill. So he's triangulating a bit now, and it sounds like below the radar, they're trying to get everybody together, and without the media focusing on them constantly and trying to disrupt the bill, because that's all the media was trying to do during the whole thing, was trying to disrupt everything and talk about how bad it was. And if they can come to an agreement below the radar. The other dumb thing they did was setting a deadline.
Yes, that was dumb. I agree with you.
That was just the dumbest thing ever. So I think they're trying to do it right now. So that's what I think is going on now. And it wouldn't surprise me if, by the end of next week, that it looks like we're going to repeal Obamacare. And really, if they could just get rid of the mandate.
Yep. That's what I mean. We get rid of the mandate and the taxes and all this stuff, and the rest will take care of itself in a lot of ways. If they resurrect this thing, it will be hilarious, because the smile on Schumer and Pelosi's face, I have to say, it was like a dagger in my heart.
And Chuck Todd's face.
Yeah, I know.
Maggie Haberman's face and Jim Tapper's face and Chris Coleman, just slap it off their face. Yes, it was. The media was exhilarated.
Yeah.
And it just bummed me out for a day, and I'm hard to bum out.
Yeah, me too. I know it did bother me too, and I think that you got to play politics. It doesn't help for conservatives to say, oh, this rotten Trump. The never Trumpers are always saying this rotten Trump. He's really a liberal. Well, if that's true, then you got to play for the conservative stuff you can get. You got to. you got to live in.
Right.
I'm a big fan of reality, which is one of the reasons I hate the media, because I think it really has become a cloud of fantasy, a cloud of, this whole thing about fake news. It's all fake news as far as I'm concerned, until they start to get some conservatives in there to at least balance the view in-house.
Yeah, and then what does NBC do? They hire Josh Earnest.
I know.
They don't want to fix it. They don't. But I have to say, I just want to, because I like to admit when I'm wrong. After I read your piece, right after the bill went down, after I read your piece about why they should have passed it, I regretted coming out against the bill, because I think you were right. I think they should have passed it. I think it was worthwhile. There was enough good stuff in there that they should have passed it. And also, by not passing it, they probably hurt our chances at tax reform because of all the savings that was in there.
I know. Politics is tough. It's a tough game. All right, John Nolte, the Noltenator, great to see you, and I hope you come back soon.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.